If rest feels uncomfortable rather than relieving, then you may be stuck in survival mode. Many of the high functioning adults that I see in my therapy practice often say something along the lines of, I just can't rest. I don't know how. I'm not wired that way, or I function better when I'm busy. But here's what's actually happening. Your nervous system has adapted to carrying a chronic load so that when you start to slow down, it actually starts to feel like a loss of control. So in today's video, I'm going to further explain what exactly is going on so I can help you make it make sense. And then we'll talk about how you can actually start to shift this and what it looks like. The first thing to understand is that rest is going to remove distraction because busyness is a safeguarding for us. It means there's tasks, it means there's forward motion, and there's a containment, there's a structure and order. And so when we start to relax, all of a sudden that is getting taken away. And when the structure drops, your nervous system is losing its anchor. So it's immediately going to use the brain to start to fill in that space. Planning, scanning, analyzing, preparing, doing anything that you can. This is because your nervous system is truly still mobilized. It's still activated. It's no longer really aware of how to downshift and slow down safely. And this is what I mean by survival mode, because survival mode thrives on movement. Now, let's be clear, survival mode doesn't always look like panic. It doesn't look like things falling apart. It can look very put together. It can look productive, dependable, reliable, the things that you're used to being. Essentially, your nervous system learned that if I stay ahead, then I stay safe, which means that slowing down is going to feel like losing your edge, falling behind, and letting go of control. If we look at what that really means for us who are stuck in survival mode, it means that your body does not trust stillness. And in its mind, it has a good reason not to. If you've lived in chronic stress for a long time, then your baseline is no longer calm or even neutral. It's a form of activation. And this is where I say survival mode can differ, because there can be a low level, moderate, high, and then even chronic. So when you stop moving, your body doesn't naturally drop into rest like maybe others people's does, because you're still scanning, still bracing, running low level processes in the background. Think about like if you have an iPhone and how you can swipe away the background apps that kind of build up over time. That's you, except you're not closing the loops. You're not swiping away the background apps. They're still buzzing. They're still keeping you somewhat on. That's why you can be physically exhausted, but still mentally wired. Rest in and of itself isn't the problem. The load is. I talk about this a lot with my clients who are like, I'm getting enough sleep, but I'm never feeling rested, because the body is still working. We are not able to downshift our nervous system low enough, deep enough to really find that parasympathetic state we need to allow ourselves to recover. Now, I'm a believer that I think many people know when rest feels unsafe to them in some capacity, or they have some kind of inkling that they're just like a high performer, or they struggle to slow down. Maybe they've justified it as like their personality or who they are, but there are signs. But I want to take it one step deeper so that you can really start to see. I'm going to give you some signs so you can be like, oh, I didn't realize that also meant I was struggling to slow down or didn't feel safe enough to do so. So let's get into a few signs. You reach for your phone immediately when you stop working or doing something. You add small tasks during your downtime. You feel irritated when there's nothing to do or you just find something to do. You get sleepy during the day but wired at night. You feel guilty resting, especially when others are working. You relax for 5 minutes and then feel internal urgency to get up and do something. This is a nervous system that has not learned to stand down. And this is something that has built up over time. When you're in chronic survival mode, your system learns to adapt to activation, and then activation becomes the new normal. So calm ends up feeling unfamiliar, and anything unfamiliar is going to feel unsafe. The reality is your body would rather stay at a 6 out of 10 activation, which is predictable, which it knows how to function at and cope with, than drop to a 2 out of 10 and feel like it's lost its vigilance. So let's talk about the shift that needs to happen, because I promise you, it's not about forcing yourself to try to be more calm or forcing yourself to try to relax, because it just won't work. Trust me, I've been there. Instead, it's about reducing your nervous system load gradually. It's about teaching your body how to complete stress cycles and find safety in small pauses. That's why the video I put out last Wednesday focused on closing the loop, because we're not trying to reduce your drive or your passion or your ambition, but we're trying to reduce the load and the activation so that there can be more of a balance. Now, if you're listening to this and you're like, I don't even know what my baseline is anymore, or when I talked about the low, moderate, intermediate, and chronic survival mode levels, the load that the nervous system is carrying, I actually created a completely free quiz that you can do in under 3 minutes that assesses where your nervous system load is at. It's really going to help you understand how much activation your system is carrying and just how much it is costing you in your health, your sleep, and your everyday habits. So if you're interested in that, it is in the description box down below and you can go check it out. This upcoming Wednesday, I'm going to be guiding you through a short practice that you can do with me, especially when rest feels unsafe, so we can learn to power down without feeling a loss of control. So make sure you've subscribed so you don't miss that. I post new videos every Wednesday and Sunday on survival mode and nervous system regulation. Thank you so much for watching and being here, and I will see you in the next one.